They say blood is thicker than water, but in business, blood is just a stain you have to scrub away. My name is Elias. For 15 years, I was the ghost behind Vanguard Tech. I wrote the code, I designed the architecture, and I stayed in the basement while my best friend Marcus played the charming CEO on magazine covers. Last Tuesday, Marcus handed me a cardboard box and told me my services were no longer required. He kept the patents, he kept the billion-dollar valuation, but he forgot one very important thing. I didn't just build the machine, I am the machine. Marcus and I started in a garage. Classic story, right? He had the smile, I had the brain. We built an AI-driven logistics system that could predict supply chain failures before they happened. It was a gold mine. As we grew, I stayed behind the scenes. I'm not a people person. I liked my servers, my coffee, and my quiet. Marcus, however, loved the spotlight. He started wearing tailored suits and hanging out with politicians. He started calling the company his company. I didn't care. I was happy. Until I found the expansion plan on the office printer. It wasn't about new markets. It was a legal roadmap to dilute my shares to zero and phase out the founding CTO, me. It was my 40th birthday. No cake, no happy birthday. Just a meeting in the glass-walled boardroom. "Elias, you've been the heart of this place," Marcus said, his voice smooth as silk. "But we're going public. The board thinks your eccentricities are a liability for investors. We've prepared a separation agreement." The agreement offered me a few $1,000,000, pennies compared to the billions I generated. "If I don't sign?" I asked. Marcus leaned in, the mask slipping. "Then we sue you for intellectual property theft. We have better lawyers than you have friends, Elias. Take the exit while it's still paved with gold." I signed. I took my box. I walked out. Marcus thought he was a genius. He thought he owned the code. Technically, he did. But what he didn't understand is that the system I built was organic. It required a specific heartbeat to keep the encryption from collapsing. See, I didn't install a virus. That's amateur. Instead, I had built the entire system to rely on a validation key that I manually updated every 30 days from my private workstation. It was my way of ensuring the system remained secure. Since I was no longer an employee, I no longer had the authority to perform that maintenance. I went to a small cabin in the woods. No phone, no internet, just a stack of books and a bottle of scotch. I knew exactly when the clock would run out. 29 days later, Vanguard Tech prepared for its initial public offering. It was the biggest tech event of the year. Marcus was on the floor of the stock exchange, ready to ring the bell. At 9:29 a.m., 1 minute before the bell, the validation key expired. Across the globe, every single Vanguard server turned into a digital brick. Shipping containers in Singapore stopped moving. Automated trucks in Nevada pulled to the side of the road and locked their brakes. The miracle AI wasn't just down. It was encrypted with a key that didn't exist anymore. "Elias, pick up! The system is dark. Everything is dark." I watched it all on a battery-powered TV. The IPO was halted. The valuation crashed from $12 billion to zero in 3 hours. Marcus found me 2 days later. He looked like he'd aged 20 years. He was wearing the same suit from the stock exchange, now wrinkled and stained. "Fix it," he begged. "The lawyers, the investors, they're going to crucify me. I'll give you anything." I sat on my porch, petting a stray cat. "I can't fix it, Marcus," I said calmly. "You fired the only person with the security clearance to access the core. And since the company is now effectively bankrupt, your better lawyers are probably busy looking for new jobs." "Please," he sobbed. "I'll lose my house, my reputation. I'll go to jail for fraud." I leaned forward. "You should have kept the basement guy happy, Marcus. You forgot that while you were the face of the company, I was the spine. And a face can't stand without a spine." Vanguard Tech didn't survive. It was liquidated. Marcus ended up in a federal cell for misleading investors.